We've been talking so much NBA 2K21, but we wanted to stop and take a moment to
The Suns buzz as it rolled into the arena earlier tonight. The players checked out in their... And a chance to take a look at some numbers for Booker.
And you can see the surge in his level of confidence lately just by looking at that true shooting percentage. It's been moving straight up in the past 5 games. I think he's feeling it.
Looking at the starting 5 for the Phoenix Suns. Saric and Ayton at the 4 and the 5. Dragic is out there with Booker, and it's Oubre in at the 3. And for Dallas, they've got Porter. Marjanovic is out there with Porzingis. Then there's Doncic, and it's George in at the 5. We're just halfway through the season, Brent. Talk about the value of leadership and keeping everyone focused night in and night out.
A lot of that will come from your coaching staff and the messaging, but I will tell you what, Kevin, playing with a star player that goes out there and does it night after night, watching James Harden, watching Russell Westbrook, watching Steph Curry, have the kind of unreal performances for the game 56, the game 68. You're just sitting there in amazement. You want to step up and say, you know what, I want to be there for you.
But to me, that may be the most important. Like every game they're there. Like every single game.
They are there. They're excited to be there. They're excited for you to be playing, and they raise the level of your attentiveness to being competitive on a nightly basis. And truly, those guys become inspirational to you. Can't talk enough about the subtleties in that setup right there. The assist, really the key to that entire sequence.
Here's Oubre. Misses the 3. And here's George. He'll bring it up for the Dallas Mavericks. It's a 3-point game. Their last game, a win against Boston, looking to carry it into this one.
Yeah, their long-range artillery hit the mark more often than not. A great equalizer when you're on the road.
Yeah, they sapped the energy right out of the building in that one. They just were knocking down threes, and it was deflating both for the team and the crowd.
Here's Ayton. It's good.
Such a tremendous physical profile that Ayton has. He's getting it done down low.
Outside, George. The shot is good, and so is his shooting tonight. 3 for 4. The first quarter of action, 2 minutes in. Booker against Doncic. Booker in the post. Oh, and he plucks it off the glass. Wow. Here's George, and it's George finishing it off.
Love seeing a point guard who can explode to the rim like that.
Oh, great attitude and even a better finish.
Well, just seeking out weaknesses in the defense and then exploiting it.
Marjanovic against Ayton. Releases. It's rebounded by Porzingis.
Now that's just enough defensive pressure on him to throw off that shot. I bet he gets a good look at it next time and hits it.
My goodness, he is such a great dunker.
Greg, a high riser, no doubt about it.
And Devin Booker, where would the Suns' offense be without him?
Probably bottom of the league if no Devin Booker slides on that Suns jersey. One of the purest shooters in the league and one of the most phenomenal young scorers that's come along maybe since Kevin Durant.
Doncic passes to Porter. It's blocked, and he recovers it.
And you can't be careless around Saric. When he's on you, he is looking to send that one back.
And here's Dragic. He'll bring it up for Phoenix, trailing by 4. And this is the first time they've matched up with the Mavericks this year.
Well, these two teams will see plenty of each other as this is the first of 4 contests between them this year.
And hopefully this one sets the tone for what we're going to see in the other 3 games against these teams. They'll both be sort of measuring each other out here in the first quarter.
The Suns shooting their first foul shots of the night here.
And really, the form at the line all season has been terrific. 79% as a team.
Catching up on the changes for Dallas. Powell, he's checked in for Marjanovic. Maxi Kleber comes in for Porzingis. Tim Hardaway Jr.'s checked in for Porter. And it's Seth Curry in for Doncic. Trains it from beyond the arc.
And the story here, Kevin, early on is how well they've shot the basketball.
Dragic looking for an opening. Booker outside. Now the pass to Bridges. 5 on the clock. From outside the arc. Phoenix no good that time either. Here are the Mavericks now. They're on a 14-5 run here. And there's George. That's good on the assist from Hardaway. 16 points for George.
Yeah, they're going to have a nice little run here.
34 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Dragic the pass to Booker. Unloads from 13. Rebounded by Hardaway. Inside. Back to George. Here's Kleba. And the last shot before the buzzer is off. And that concludes the first quarter of play. The Celtics in Boston, and Dallas going with a whole new group out there. And for the Suns, Ayton, he's checked in for Frank Kaminsky. Saric comes in for Mikal Bridges. And Oubre subbed in for Goran Dragic. And Phoenix looking who they've got on the floor. Saric and Ayton at the 4 and the 5. Kelly Oubre out there with Booker. And it's Gay in at the small forward.
Well, he's dialed in right now in the in-between game. I'd love to see Rudy Gay capitalize there.
From deep, George. Good once again. That makes him 8 for 9 this game.
You can't just stop when there's a pick set up. Gotta fight over it as a defender.
That's one that the coaches will watch tomorrow with that player. You hate to see him give up in that situation.
Oubre kicks to Gay. Back to Oubre. Near the three-point line, it's Booker. Another field goal for him. 4 for 6 shooting tonight.
Devin Booker up there in usage rate. Usually one of the top 5 players in the NBA, and right there you can see why.
George against Saric. Back to George. From deep. Another 3 for Dallas.
They're getting a lot of their points outside the paint. 3 of their last 5 baskets are from three-point range.
Oubre dishes to Ayton. 1:02 left now here in the second. Hits it from three-point range. Booker's got 9 points in the quarter.
Booker looking to get quick revenge after that score.
And here's George for 3. Good. And the assist goes to Doncic. Doncic has got 3 assists tonight. Suns trail by 9. Booker looking around. Got a piece of it. George against Booker. And George with the stuff.
Well, if you don't take care of the ball, fellas, that's what can happen.
Absolutely, Greg. That makes the turnover even more painful.
And the gamble paying off.
We've got a 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Porter against Booker. Saric has the open look. Off target from outside.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
Outside, George. And the Mavericks getting another bucket right there.
Unwilling to let up even for a moment. That's his killer instinct, just fanning the flames.
He's the guy that you want to go to right now, trying to put this one away.
And so it's Dallas. wasn't too much drama in the first half, but maybe things will tighten up here in the second. It's been one outstanding game from George.
The burst he's had when going at the rim has been fantastic. A lot of strong finishes through 2 quarters.
This is why the best athletes in the world play this game. If he finds a hole, he rips through and throws it down.
Well, we've got a moment. Let's set the floor. Brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up for the second half. On the floor for Dallas, Porzingis is out there with Porter. Then there's Marjanovic. Then there's Luka Doncic. And it's George in at the point. Brent, you know, the moving screen is one of those very difficult judgment calls, isn't it?
It's a tough one, Kevin, but what you look for all the time in replays when you see that call, it's almost like the salsa. I'm looking at the hips and the feet. If the feet are too wide, and Kevin Garnett was the biggest problematic moving screen setter that I ever saw, being 6'11" and spreading out those sticks of his. But if the feet go wider than the shoulder, impossible. And then the hip move as the defender is moving around the screener, just enough of a nudge for him not to be able to catch up.
Yes.
Those are the ones where the referees, I think, are most in tune to in order to blow the whistle.
Dallas making a switch here. Kleba's checked in, and Phoenix also making a switch. Bridges checks in, and he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up. Well, you watch Goran Dragic play, and Brent, he's so deceptive with his movement both on and off the ball.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why, Kevin, is the change of speeds. I also add the fact that guys who can handle the ball and are crafty and are left-handed, boy, it's tough on a nightly basis to change up your mindset to guard a guy who you know is going to go left all the time as opposed to right. Trust me, in practice, I had to do that with Manu Ginobili a ton of time in San Antonio. Dragic similar. Great use of speed change.
And Booker kicks to Kaminsky. Nice ball movement by Phoenix. Passes it to Ayton. Back to Dragic. Shot clock at 5. Lets it go from deep. Shot clock reset for Phoenix.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in crafting this huge lead.
And he makes the bucket, gets the whistle, and now been good at the free throw line. This one, 7 of 8.
And team free throw numbers really about as good as you could ask for, around 80% on the season.
And here's Dragic. He'll bring it up for the Phoenix Suns. They'll host the Denver Nuggets after this one, and that game will kick off a 4-game homestand.
And he rushed that one, no doubt about it. The D out of position, you could see the frustration on his face.
And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for 2. The Mavericks have knocked down 8 of 9 free throw attempts. I'd say those numbers read pretty well. First free throw is good. Porzingis, he's checked in for the Mavericks. And the Suns also making a change. DeAndre Ayton's checked in for Shaq Diallo. So after making the first, he goes 1 for 2. Phoenix has gone 1 of 3 from downtown since halftime. Dragic the pass to Saric. Gay scanning the floor. Just 5 to shoot. Lets it fly. And again, it's the Suns missing.
He is just really almost playing for the other team. The shooting has just been poor.
2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Wright finds George. George double teamed and finished off by Porter.
Offensively, defensively, they are in total control.
Yeah, the other team a bit concerned here. They're trailing and the lead seems to be growing.
And as we conclude the third quarter, pretty much a blowout. It's been a one-sided affair. It's Dallas. A chance now to hear Jason Kidd talking to his team moments ago.
We're not talking to each other.
And 1 quarter to go in a game that to this point has not been an evenly fought contest. On the court for the Suns, Saric and Ayton at the 4 and the 5. Carter out there with Smith. And it's Oubre in at the 3 spot. Carter against George. And And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact. It's on Porzingis. Well, the development for DeAndre Ayton is going to be all about the pick and roll, both how he runs it and defends it.
I agree, Kevin. If he works with Devin Booker out there as an offensive threat and becomes a guy who can roll with good hands and finish, that's a key for their offense. And you look at his size defensively, he can be imposing.
Sun shooting a lackluster 38% for the game, struggling so far. And Marion gets it to go. Marion's got his first points of the game.
They're going to have to come up with a better matchup. This guy just too much speed.
Mavericks leading by 23. And here's George. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. Ray, you suited up for 6 teams in your NBA career. What do you think about some of the front offices that you came across during that playing time?
I think when you find a front office, when you move from franchise to franchise, is what it is that they value most. And there were some franchises, quite frankly, Kevin, that I played for where they just wanted you to show up on time, get there, play the game, and leave. Those franchises end up having a lot of struggle to find some footing in the league. They also find trouble finding attraction from free agency because people understand the culture just isn't there. There are other teams that do so many other things well, Kevin. You feel so much more valued as a player throughout your course of your career. Those are the places that end up sticking with you. And I think the league is doing a great job from top to bottom, moving in that direction. Now, some are doing it better than others. That will always be the case. But the idea around finding more completeness for what it is you provide a player is a great thing for everybody.
A different look for Dallas. Justin Jackson comes in for Otto Porter Jr., and it's Jalen Brunson in for Wright. Pass to Oubre. Right side, Dragic. Over George. Dragic gets the bucket. Dragic has got 10 points in just the second half.
And you know what? He's shaking off the cold shooting performance from the first half.
Here's George. Rejected by Booker. Here's Oubre. Played in with a nice touch off the glass.
Oubre does a great job there. Finds an avenue, slinks his way in there, and then jumps over the top.
George with the ball. Now guarded by Saric. Tipped away. Oubre with the steal. Just under 2.5 minutes gone here in the final quarter. Now here is George. Porzingis. That's tipped, and that's out of bounds. Dallas will retain possession. Hardaway's checked in for Dallas. Doncic comes in for Jalen Brunson. And the Mavericks call time here. You know, Brent, something other major sports do, reseeding during the playoffs. The highest seeds always will play the lowest seeds. And do you think the NBA should go down that road?
I think the consideration will still be there. I think that conversation is going to happen over the course of the next 2 or 3 years. I don't see it changing in that time, Kevin, but it's healthy to continue the dialogue to the point where maybe we do get there.
Here's George. To the paint. Here's Porzingis. It's stolen by Dragic. 4-on-3 break. Mavericks with the rebound.
For him, it's harder to miss that shot than it is to make that shot. I think he was anticipating a bit of a bump there.
And what should have been a simple pass and finish ends up in a missed opportunity on that alley-oop attempt.
Yeah, you'd like to keep things a little more simple, and that was a play that didn't quite develop the way they wanted it.
Oubre outside. And he gets the friendly spin, and that one drops.
And nice court vision from Dragic there to get a great look at the bucket.
Porzingis kicks to George. From deep three-point range, from beyond the arc, and then some. George has got 40 points. 1:33 left in the fourth quarter. Dragic the pass to Ayton. He dishes it to Oubre, 13 feet away. Second chance shot, and it's Ayton missing.
That's the only kind of defense that's going to cut the mustard here tonight. You got to stay on top of a guy like that who can play at such a high level offensively.
Out of bounds, it'll go to the Suns.
Yes, and with this one winding down, it's obvious to everyone who watched it. Just a total mismatch and a true show of strength for Dallas.
As one-sided as it gets today, you know, there were some dominant moments in about every facet of this game for that team.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, it's hard to think of what didn't go right for them. Game planning by the coaches, execution by the players, everything was just on target.
And so looking at their number, this will be win number 22 on the year.
And they'll take the win tonight, setting the tone in the first matchup of this 4-game season series.
And what a tremendous standout performance it was for George.
That's amazing defense from him. Seemed to know exactly when to pounce on the passing lanes and predictive steals.
Jalen Brunson, he's checked in for the Mavericks.
Making every effort to put this game on ice.
Loved it. The guys are staying aggressive late in this ball game, just not wanting to let go of the rope.
Back to Carter. It's blocked. 5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. And that one drops.
This arena was rocking throughout the night. You could really feel the energy.
Yeah, huge motivation, always great for a young team, but veteran players also appreciate when fans come with that kind of energy and get into the spirit of the game.
And that's out of bounds. Phoenix will retain possession.
A split second late, but almost came up with a steal there.
Real close, and I'm sure next time you might time that a little bit better and get a hand on it.
Out to Marion. That's a 2 from Smith. No good. So no problem for Dallas as they get the win. The most exciting we've ever seen, but you have to appreciate just what a critical performance they put on.
I know their fans appreciated it, and we saw at times just stretches of excellent defense. Potency from an offensive standpoint as well. They were pretty much dominant.
And that'll do it, folks. So for David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, Brett Bailey,